Luhan has a plan that will guarantee him a win against the Connector if they ever have another confrontation again. The technique Luhan is going to use is called Shayong, and in this video I'm going to be convincing you why you should become a believer in this technique. Don't forget to like and sub if you want more videos like this. But to start things off, to understand Shayong, we need to talk about Luhan's motives here, because so far he has led everyone into believing that his goal is to kill the Connector. He talked about this in chapter 240 to Oma and Ryuki, and even mentions it again when he meets up with Nico in chapter 247. So most of the time we have known Luhan, especially after he got slapped by the Connector, it was safe to assume that he wanted the Connector's death, but that turned out to be a ruse, because in chapter 317, when Nico is assisting Luhan to get out of the hospital on a wheelchair, he is pleased that no one has caught on to his actual plan, that he has seemingly pulled off basically the rules of the century here, because Luhan doesn't want to kill the Connector. Instead, he wants to control the Connector, to take his power and who he is for himself. If we just take a look at the legend of Luhan Shayong, it's based off of the Enlightened One, aka Luhan, that managed to subdue a powerful dragon king in ancient India that was said to have hidden Buddhist scriptures at its underwater palace after flooding its own kingdom. The Enlightened One does this by taming the dragon. And through the legend of Shayong, we can see this as a sort of foreshadowing for what is going to happen here. That Luhan will actually manage to get control over the Connector through hypnosis. And the craziest part about this theory is that this isn't something that's going to happen. Luhan has already used this technique on the Connector already, and it's worked. To understand how this has worked, I want us to take a look at the drafts for chapter 314. This was, at the time of the making of this video, the latest confrontation between the Connector and Luhan, and Luhan seems to be picking up steam for a mysterious reason that the Connector does not understand. In the previous chapter, he had genuinely tried to kill him with a punch, but here Luhan is not only alive, he managed to deflect it and will continue to survive, defying the odds that the Connector has against him. However, in the drafts, it is important to point out that Luhan is wiggling his fingers in front of his face, which is a very weird type of motion that doesn't seem to come at any particular benefit. The official chapter omits these. However, after he does this hand motion, he goes in for the attack, swinging wildly and missing at the Connector, and the Connector manages to kick him again with assumably deadly force, but this doesn't work as well. And at that moment, the dormant tiger comes to the surface. When this first happened, I personally thought that Tiger was a malicious actor that was working behind the scenes. I have an entire video breaking down why I thought that. However, later on this is confirmed to be false, because Tiger says that he had been dormant until that point. And so there has to be something special about what happened there, and it is precisely because of the hypnosis. See, Tiger rested in the unconscious level of the Connector's consciousness, right? You might think that consciousness and unconsciousness is like a 50-50 thing, or another way to understand this is that the majority of the things we do is managed by our unconsciousness. The 10% is there and it does a lot of the justifying. But hypnosis takes advantage of that unconscious area of your consciousness to make the person do something they would not really want to do. Even though they are consciously aware of what's going on, it's almost like their body doesn't want to really listen to them. And that's because that 10% isn't really in that much control of the body. And so the reason Tiger surfaced up against Shen Luhan specifically was because during that fight, he was trying to hypnotize the connector, and it worked. That's why later on in chapter 317, he is so happy because no one has caught on to what he has done, and his technique, the hypnosis, is now confirmed to be working. However, the hypnosis has to now work on both the tiger and the dragon, which is Shen Wulong. We know he represents the dragon mainly because of his, of course, insane mastery, but also the person that is directly cloned from him, Ryuki, is called the Dragon King. And so if you made it to this part of the video, tell me if you are a believer in Shayong. Don't forget to like and sub, and until next time, take it easy.